Hey friend, Colin here from Sumthins Recording, and today I'm going to be giving you the ultimate home studio gear guide. Today we're going to be looking at building a home studio on a budget and beyond. So we're going to look at all the budget equipment you can get to get started recording and mixing, and then we're going to go a little bit beyond if you're looking to build out maybe your inventory of gear or take that next step with your home studio. Now, we're going to start with DAWs and move forward from there to interfaces and headphones and microphones and so on. But before we dive into all of that, if you are looking to go a little bit deeper into the mixing process and really start to dial in your workflow as an audio engineer, then I have just the thing for you. It is my 7-step mixing checklist, and it's just a simple PDF that will walk you through the entire mixing process step by step to help you get professional and radio-ready mixes without any more of the hassle and without any more of the guesswork. It is a completely free guide, and you can download it below using the link in the video description. Now let's jump in here. You can see I've got Sweetwater open here. I've got a few tabs open. Some of them we're going to stay on, and some of them we're going to explore a little bit with the search bar up here as well. If you're new maybe to buying gear, definitely check out Sweetwater. Sweetwater is an amazing resource. You can also use Amazon for anything. We're not going to talk about extraneous items today like computers. I'm assuming you have a computer, and we're not going to talk about the little things like XLR and TRS cables. So microphone cables and instrument cables, I would definitely recommend maybe buying those in bulk in like 4 or 5 packs, 6 packs on Amazon, and then of course a pop filter you're going to need for your microphone. Those smaller kind of items, and then you can lump in, guitar tuners and stuff like that. We're not going to look at that today. That stuff you can buy on Amazon. That stuff you can get for pretty cheap, probably under $50 for most of that stuff. We're going to look at the big stuff, the overarching stuff, starting with your DAW. So we're assuming you have a computer. The first thing you need to get started with a home studio is an audio workstation, a digital audio workstation. Now, my recommendation, of course, is going to be Studio One. I love Studio One. I love PreSonus. I did start on Pro Tools all those years ago, but the way Pro Tools is kind of running now, you can see it's a perpetual license. So if we scroll down a little bit here, you can see it's sitting at like $99 a month, which is a little crazy. And then their smaller version is $10 a month. If we look at Studio One, you can get the full version, the highest tier, for just $400. Flat fee, you pay the $400, the software is yours. You get all the updates until you come up to the next number, so until they release Studio One 7, and then you just pay whatever it is to upgrade to the next one. But all the updates and stuff like that are free. And if you don't want to jump into maybe the full version and you want one of the lower tiers, definitely check out Studio One Artist. This is just $99, so $100 flat fee. You get the software and you are ready to go. You can see unlimited tracks and plugins come with it. If you're looking for something else, you can check out Cubase. I know a lot of people use Logic Pro these days. Logic Pro is really, really nice. I'm going to say avoid Pro Tools if you're starting out. But if you are using Pro Tools and you want to keep going down that route, more power to you. It was the industry standard, I might say, because a lot of people have moved to Logic Pro and Studio One these days. But if you are using Pro Tools is a great software. I'm just not recommending it here because of the license. It's not the most user-friendly. I'm going to recommend Studio One. I love Studio One. It's what I've been using for a very, very long time now because it's so user-friendly and because there's a great team over there at PreSonus. So starting out with a DAW, I'm going to recommend you reach for something like Studio One Professional or Studio One Artist. $99 or $400. Moving on here now, we're going to get rid of this tab here. The next thing you're going to need after you get your digital audio workstation is an audio interface. And this is going to give you something that you'll be able to listen to the audio coming out of your computer on and also send and record audio into your computer with. So there's a lot of things going here with like Focusrite, Behringer. I'm going to recommend if you're just starting out, let's see, where is it at here? This guy. This is what I started on when I first started working. It's a PreSonus Audio Box USB. It's the 96 because it's the 25th anniversary version. And it's just $100. It's going to give you 2 channels, so you can either plug in 2 TRS cables, 2 microphone cables, or one of each. It gives you a headphone option. It gives you a master volume option. There's an input gain for each one. And you can also mix between playback and input volume. It's a very versatile audio interface to get started with. If you're maybe looking to move up from there, you maybe want to check out the 1824 here. Let's actually sort here. Since we're talking about building on a budget, let's go price low to high here on Sweetwater and see what we get to start with. I would avoid little things like this. Now there is the M Audio Solo USB, which is a cool little thing you can get for $50. If you're looking for something small, the Behringer Euphoria I've heard is really, really good. This is a little, technically 2-channel, right? Because you have one mic pre and you have one TRS input there. That's a nice little guy to get started with. You have the AudioBox i1 here. Same kind of deal, one mic pre, one TRS input. But something new they just came out with is the AudioBox Go. And it kind of gives you the same sort of thing there where you're going to have the mic pre. Let's look at this here. And we can see what kind of inputs they have going on it. So if we look at the back of it here, same kind of thing here. You're going to have one mic line and then one instrument input here. And you have 2 outs for your mains. And of course, your volume controls, your mix control, your headphone control, as well as your main volume on the front of it. So that's a nice one to get started with there. But if you're just looking for something to hit the ground running, I'm definitely going to recommend the AudioBox USB, the 96th 25th anniversary version. That is a great place to start. Let's see if we can find it here. This guy right here. It is, there's even a demo version for $10 cheaper. There's this guy too, the i2, which is $10 cheaper. There's a lot of great ones to get started with. I'm going to recommend the AudioBox USB if you're just starting out here. Don't worry, we're going to talk about bigger and better things down the line here. So that's audio interfaces. Once you got your DAW, once you got your audio interface, you're going to need something to be able to hear on. I'm going to recommend you start with headphones. You don't want to jump into giant studio monitors to begin with, but if you're maybe looking at studio monitors down the road, those are a good investment. But just starting out, take a look at headphones first. They're going to get you started, and they're going to be miles and miles cheaper than investing in studio monitors to start with. And headphones are a lot more useful and a lot more versatile in the home studio. So the golden standard for mixing is going to be the Sennheiser HD650s. These are open back headphones. These are really, really phenomenal headphones. But what I use for mixing, actually, let's see if they're here. These guys right here. These are what I work on every day. The Sennheiser HD280 Pros. They're $80, so they're quite a bit cheaper than the 650s for $500. These are amazing. I use them every single day for mixing. I use them a little bit for recording as well, but the headphones I actually use for recording are right here. So the Audio-Technica ATH M20Xs. These are closed-back headphones. The reason I like these for recording is because they have a really, really long cord that comes with them. So you get some distance when maybe you're plugging into just a little interface you have on your desk if you don't have, a headphone amp or something like that. So they give you a very, very nice extension with them. You can also take off the 1/4-inch adapter and use an 1/8 inch. But they're good headphones, they're closed back, they have good isolation to them, and they're good quality for recording. You don't need the greatest quality if you're just recording on them. For mixing headphones, definitely going to recommend the Sennheiser 280 Pros. These are phenomenal headphones. For just recording, these are really, really great, the Audio-Technica ATH M20Xs. And if you want to go that extra mile, if you're looking to maybe upgrade your headphones, definitely check out these 650s. These are kind of the golden standard for mixing on headphones there. So we've got our system pretty much set up. Now we need to start looking at maybe the more stuff you'd qualify as gear, right? Which is going to be microphones. So if we're looking at microphones to start, there's 2 you want to get to start with, or 2 kinds. You want to get a condenser microphone. That's going to be for maybe vocals, drums, overheads, what have you. One good condenser microphone is going to be a great place to start with, mainly for recording vocals, but you can use it on pretty much everything. And then we're going to talk about dynamic microphones in a second here. Now, the Rode NT1 is a great starting condenser microphone. It's about $160, $150 here. I've heard great things about the AKG C2 214 as well. I've never used that. The Rode NT1 is a fabulous microphone to start with. Now, of course, if we all got what we wanted, we'd probably all have a bunch of U87s or U47s, but we don't all have $4,000 to drop on a microphone to start with. So we have the Rode NT1. You can see there's a couple different versions of it. This one is a little bit more expensive here. Let's see what else we've got here. Here's your classic 414. This is a great microphone. Now, if you're looking for something maybe to get all that vintage vibe and you want to invest a little bit more, the Slate digital microphone, the ML1, this is a great microphone. This is a workhorse that's going to allow you to model all of these vintage microphones like the 414, like the U87, like the U47. I used this for a really, really long time. It was my main vocal microphone and room microphone here in the studio. I've used it on acoustic guitar. It sounds great, and you have a wide variety of microphones to choose from there. I've heard the Warm Audio stuff is really good too. Their 87, their WA87, excuse me, and their WA47 are really, really nice. Here's the 420. Let's see. Let's do the same thing here. Let's sort price low to high and see what we get. We're going to have some small stuff, of course, to start off with here. I've heard good things about the Behringer C1 too, so if you want something under $50 or under $100 to start with, definitely check out the Behringer C1. This is a good microphone that's going to get you started. So if you're just starting off, you're on a budget, check out the Behringer C1 here. Let's keep moving. I've heard good things about the PreSonus microphones as well. Their M7 microphones, I've heard, are really, really nice. There's the Samson stuff, which is cool. Now, Lewitt is making some really, really great stuff here. I have their 540 Sub-Zero back there that I use for background vocals, but I've heard their 240 Pro is really, really nice these days. Let's keep moving. The AKG stuff, I'm looking for one particular one that I wanted to show you. About $150. So we're going to keep moving here. So here's that 240 again. So if you are looking for something maybe a little bit pricier than the $50 microphone, the Behringer, check out this Lewitt, the 240 Pro. I've heard really, really good things about it. I haven't used it myself. I have their 540, like I said, which is phenomenal. But I've heard great things about the 240 as well. Here's another PreSonus microphone. I've heard good things about theirs. I have never invested in them because I have things that are a little bit better than that. Here's the other one. So this small diaphragm version of the Slate Digital, I have this as well, which is not behind me at the moment, but I've used this all the time now for recording acoustic guitars or even miking guitar amps now. This is another microphone that lets you model more expensive vintage microphones. This is a really, really nice microphone. I use it all the time. Let's see, next page here. Now we're at the $150 range. This is kind of where we're going to end here if we're looking at condenser microphones. This guy here, this is actually the microphone if you can see it right here. This is what I started with. It is $160, the P220. This is a phenomenal microphone. I love it on vocals. It's on my voice right now, and I love it on acoustic guitar. It is the same price as the Rode NT1. So if you're looking between these two, I would definitely look at the AKG P220. I love this microphone. I still use it today, even though I have things that are far and miles better. I love this microphone. I love the way it sounds. Vocals, on guitar amps, especially on acoustic guitar, and then for drums, room mics, overhead, stuff like that as well. This is a great microphone. This is a workhorse. I've used it for a very, very long time. So if you're looking for something to start out, you want to get just one good condenser microphone, I love the AKG P220 here. All right, that is condenser microphones. We're going to leave these two tabs open for a minute here, and let's look at dynamic microphones, which are the other side. So if you want to get two microphones to start with, you need a good condenser for vocals, for acoustic guitars, for drums, and then a dynamic microphone is going to be great for maybe vocals as well, but for guitar amps, for snare drum, stuff like that, maybe smaller things. And the only microphone I'm going to recommend here for a dynamic microphone to start with is an SM57. This microphone is phenomenal. Excuse me, been talking too long now. And I have 4 of them, I think. They are really, really nice. I love them on guitar amps. I love them on snare top. I love them on snare bottom. I've used them on vocals before. I've used them on congas, bongos. They're great on brass, so saxophone, stuff like that. These are phenomenal microphones. So if you need something for recording guitar amps, even recording vocals, SM57 is a great dynamic microphone to start with. And if you're looking for something maybe a few cents pricier, 1999.95. The Sennheiser 609s are really good too for guitar microphones. Those are great on guitar amps. Let's keep moving here. This is where we're going to kind of move from starter gear. So this is the end of basic stuff, budget stuff. We're going to move into maybe upgrading stuff. So get your budget gear if you're building your home studio and work with it. Give it a couple years before you look to upgrade. You want to be making decent music on it, good music on it, before you look to upgrade, because your gear should be holding you back before you try and upgrade. You shouldn't be the bottleneck. Your gear should be the bottleneck before you look to upgrade, okay? So get the best sounds you can out of the gear you have before you're looking to upgrade and invest in something bigger. Because the gear you buy next should be serving you. It shouldn't be, hindering you and your production in the studio. So the next thing I'm going to recommend you get, or the first thing I'm going to recommend you upgrade, is your interface, because you're going to want more channels. You're going to want to be able to plug more stuff in. You're going to want more flexibility out of it. And here I'm going to recommend you look at a digital mixer. Now, when we look digital mixers here in Sweetwater, there's a lot of stuff that's for live purposes, like the Behringer racks and stuff like that, the Midas desks. Allen and Heath makes a lot of great stuff. You'll see their digital mixers here. What I'm going to recommend is the PreSonus mixer. So let's see if we can find this guy here. This is actually what I have here in the studio. It's the PreSonus Studio Live. The 32, this actually is the 32SX, but there's the 32 version of it, which comes with actually, all the plugins and stuff like that. This is a great mixer that's going to give you, so if we look at, the back, it's going to give you a bunch of mic pre's here. It's going to give you a bunch of line inputs. You're going to have a ton of mix outputs, some sub outputs here. You'll have a pair of monitor outputs, aux outputs. You have tape in and out. You have USB control up on the top, and it gives you actual faders that you can move and adjust. You can create different sends out the back here, and you also have a screen where you can EQ and compress stuff on the way in. So if you're looking to upgrade your audio interface, maybe start looking at moving towards a digital mixer. I did work with Soundcraft for a while too. It's actually back behind my desk here because I don't move it anymore. I had the Soundcraft MTK, which is the multi-track 22. That's a really, really nice mixer as well. Has an EQ channel strip, and their Ghost preamps are really, really nice on that. But digital mixers where I would recommend you look next, and the PreSonus ones, the Studio Lives, are really, really great there. Another sip of water. Now, the next thing I would probably recommend you look at is maybe getting a piece of outboard gear here. So I'm going to recommend you look at getting some sort of channel strip to start with. Now, you can get, just a mic pre to start with if you want to get something nice just for your vocal chain or something like that. But a channel strip is going to get you a nice mic pre, a nice compressor, and a nice EQ right out of the gate. And what I'm going to recommend to start with maybe your first piece of outboard gear is the PreSonus Studio channel. So I actually have, let's see if I can actually grab it because it's not in the rack at the moment. I have the older version of this, which is the PreSonus Eureka. You can get these on eBay or Reverb for like $150, $200, I think, is what I got. I got it at Guitar Center used. This is really, really nice. Let me show it to you one more time. They have the mic pre section here, which gives you your gain, and there's a tube saturation knob here. You have an EQ channel strip here, parametric EQ, and you also have a compressor built into it. So it's a really, really nice tube-style channel strip that can get you started. The PreSonus Studio channel is very, very similar to that as well. Now, if you're looking for something maybe more vintage, let's see if we can get a 1073 preamp. Some of these come with a really, really nice EQ as well. So the Neve 1073, the microphone preamp and EQ This is a really, really cool mic pre, and it has the Neve EQ built into it as well. So you get a high pass filter, you get one band pass here, and you've got two shelves as well as the mic pre. Lots of cool color in this, lots of good vintage vibe from the EQ. This is a really, really nice channel strip if you're looking for something vintage with a lot of color and style to start with. There's also the API preamps if you want to look at that. So let's look API preamp. There's the 312. This is really, really nice. You can see that's very, very pricey though. So once you start looking up here towards like the API stuff and the Neve stuff for preamps and channel strips, you're going to be looking at stuff that's quite expensive. We can look at 1176s real quick here as well. These actually have some stuff on the lower price side, which is really, really nice. The Clark Tech 1176, I've heard really, really good things about this. I haven't used it myself, but if you're looking to get an analog 1176 style compressor, maybe for vocals or for drums, this is probably a cool place to start if you don't want to spend maybe the $2,500 on a universal audio one. I thought, here, Warm Audio makes one for $600 as well, which is a cool kind of entry level 1176 FET compressor. And you can also start looking at the 500 series stuff, which is like, you know, the rack mountable inside of a lunchbox style stuff. So that's preamps and stuff like that. Kind of the next place we would move would be expanding your microphone collection. So if you're starting with just one good condenser, one good dynamic, kind of the next place I would say to look is maybe expanding your dynamic. So if you have an SM57, the next dynamic microphone I would definitely recommend is a 421 here. The Sennheiser MD 421. I have 4 of these across the drums. So on the toms, these are phenomenal tom microphones. They also sound really, really good on guitar cabs. So if you have someone that maybe has, you know, a brighter sort of tone, these will give you a darker, fatter sort of vibe. These are really, really nice. So if you're looking to expand your dynamic microphones, I'm going to recommend you look at one of these first. These are really, really nice. And then also speaking of drums, let's look at the Shure, the Beta 52. This is a good, you can actually get a kit of these. So if you get the Beta 52 and then 357s, that's a cool kit for drums. The Beta 52A is a really, really good microphone for kick drum. I use this in live scenarios more than in the studio. I use... Oh, I didn't even type that in right. The AKG 112 is what I use on kick in here. This guy, really, really cool microphone. It captures that really nice point and that really nice click off the kick drum. So sticking one of these inside your kick drum sounds really, really nice. And then on the outside of your kick drum, you can use that same condenser microphone that we bought at the beginning of this video or towards the middle of this video. That's kind of going to cover drums. You're going to want to use your condenser for front of kick drum or for overheads. That's going to be your condenser microphones. If you're trying to get something maybe for, I don't even know if Sweetwater sells it. They do not. But actually, I just looked at investing in one of the Roswell audio microphones. Those are really, really nice. They have their Mini K47 and their Mini K87. I got one of the Mini K47s for a vocal microphone, and it's really, really nice. I'm very impressed with how that sounds. For overheads, I'll probably invest in a pair of the 87s as well. I think that's about it. I'm kind of looking around the studio here to see if there's anything I'm missing. You're going to use your condenser microphone for bass amps. You can use them for guitar amps. We talked about some of the dynamic microphones you can reach for. Put this P220, the Lewitt microphones. So let's look at the Lewitt microphones one more time here. Lewitt microphones. The 440 Pure is kind of the standard here for vocals and instruments. Here's the 540. This is a beautiful microphone. This sounds really, really nice. There's the 640 here. There's the matched pair you can use for overheads. All this stuff here. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment below. You can also, call Sweetwater or call Guitar Center, and they'll answer any questions you have about gear or recording or building your home studio. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video here, though, if you're looking to go a little bit deeper into the mixing process, definitely check out the link in the description to my 7-step mixing checklist. This is a free guide that's going to walk you through the entire mixing process, help you get more professional sounding mixes right in your home studio. You can get access to that by clicking the link below in the video description. But at the basics here, DAW first, I'm recommending Studio One. Then we have audio interface. I'm recommending the AudioBox USB. Then we have headphones, the Sennheiser 280 Pros, great mixing headphones, or you have the Audio-Technica, what were they, M20Xs. Those are great to start off with. Microphones, we talked about getting a good condenser and a good dynamic, and that's your foundation for building your home studio. Thank you so much for watching here today. I hope that was very, very helpful for you. I hope you got a good basis for building your home studio on a budget, as well as taking it maybe a little bit further, expanding or upgrading your gear. Thank you so much for watching here today, and I will see you in the next video.